This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
You're listening to WSTU Stewart.
Well, a very pleasant good evening. It's time for Startup Talk from Indian River State College with Mr. Tom Kindred.
Good evening, and welcome to another segment, an installment of Startup Talk, the show designed to assist and help Treasure and Research Coast residents who want to start, grow, or accelerate their business. As I always say, what a great place it is to own and operate a business along the beautiful Research and Treasure Coast. We will spend time during our hour this evening to highlight and create awareness regarding the very powerful and robust business assistance and support programs that exist right here at our very own Indian River State College. I am Tom Kindred. I serve the community as the Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center at IRSC. Underwriters for this evening's segment of Startup Talk are the law firm of Dean, Mead, Minton & Zwimmer, celebrating 30 years of service on the Treasure Coast, on the web at deanmead.com. And our friends at Harbor Community Bank, banking the way it used to be. Looking for that better banking experience? Discover the Harbor Community Banking difference. Stop by a local branch and speak to a customer service representative or loan officer today. That's Harbor Community Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC, and as always, our good friends at Express Printing of Port St. Lucie. So, Greg, how are you this evening?
Doing well.
I went last night to the big blue and gold game. For volleyball.
You bet. Season begins on Friday.
Season began with the inter-squad matchup. We had Coach Frank Watkins. I believe he coached the gold.
Yeah.
And our very own Dr. Massey, I believe he was the coach of the blue. So
which team won?
Well, I think blue may have been a little stacked.
Yeah.
But they both looked very good. The first game was very tight. The second game, blue got out pretty good. I think after they got warmed up, they got out pretty good. But I mean, got some tremendous hitters on the team.
Boy, they've got some tough competition right off the bat. Lake Sumter, St. John's, and then State College of Manatee is always tough. Polk State. I mean, that's their first 2 days, and then they go to South Florida State. I don't even know where that school is. Never heard of it.
South Florida State.
South Florida State. It's not the brand new one over on the West Coast. I'm not sure where it is.
Well,
but
they're gonna be just fine, I think. Having watched last night, and then and then a number of us all went out. They had a little fundraiser at Applebee's last night to raise funds for the AFC chapter at Indian River State College. So we went out there and got our dinners to support the AFC at IRSC.
Very cool.
Big evening last night. So I'm assuming, like you say, volleyball is underway and basketball is right behind.
I've already got my bus schedule for October 21. I think we're going down to St. Thomas's in Miami to scrimmage against, I think, the varsity. Very cool.
That's good.
That'll be great, yeah.
Well, again, as I always tell folks, I have to tell you, the gym was packed last night. It was packed. I mean, it was a lot of students out last night. A lot of the other athletes from IRSC were there. So it was just a lot of fun. A lot of administration there last night for the game. So anyway, impressive group, and again, defending, I think, Southeastern, whatever that region.
Southern Conference.
Southern Conference.
Yep.
Southern Conference champions.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. They're very good.
Yep.
Very. So did they do what I heard they might do, the astronomy folks, and actually put pinholes in the top of the gym so you could watch the eclipse safely? No, I guess that's a bad
I don't
idea.
think there were pinholes. No, I don't. No pinholes. But, yes, Monday was a big day on campus. Again, a lot of fun on Monday, too. John Bell from the planetarium.
Planetarium was
My
jammed.
gosh, yeah, big day Monday. Had all kinds of glasses and telescopes set up. So a lot of fun that day to go over and see the crowd over in the parking lot, all taking advantage of the eclipse.
Very cool.
So
Very
it
cool.
was. And John made it interesting, educated us all on the eclipse, and was there to talk about it, and then sent us an update email after it was all over.
And
on
hats
Tuesday.
off to CNN too, who did a great job, and they had astronauts at every step, and it was really funny. Gabby Gifford's husband was talking about, I've seen dozens of these. I've just never seen him from the Earth. And you think about it, sure, he was always up at the space station. Yeah, it was amazing.
So yeah, big day. So again, a lot of fun at the college the last couple of days. Tomorrow, I believe, is the start of the fall semester. So tomorrow there'll be lots of cars, lots of students heading to the first day of classes. So
did you bring all your books with you?
I got all my books. I'm ready to go. Paid my fees. I'm ready. So it'll be a big day tomorrow on campus, and so if you're a student, I would maybe get up a little early tomorrow and maybe beat the traffic.
So your son's got all the classes he wants?
He got all the classes he wants. He's got a fall and a spring. He is all mapped out. He's got his pathway
for spring.
He's got his classes for spring. He's ready to roll. Yeah, we had that conversation with Dr. Massey about the great job the college now does in really getting these students organized and on what they call the pathway.
Sure.
And so he really had his 2 years laid out when he started day one.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So we're about ready to be empty nesters. Yeah.
In how many hours?
Well, let's see. I'll count it down for you.
Been there, done that. Okay.
Tonight, listen, we got. I love tonight's subject matter. I love talking about, again, first of all, I love talking about new and innovative classes. I'm telling you, I am really excited and really enthusiastic about what we're doing at the CCTI and some of the new offerings coming up this fall. And I'm always like talking about the classes that really provide students an opportunity to immediately get engaged in the workforce, get that job, get a better job, better themselves. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We've got with us our very good friend, Joe Gorham, of Indian River State College and the CCTI, and Joe's going to talk about the Fast Track to Manufacturing program. Really, and I love talking about Fast Track. So welcome to the show, Joe.
Thanks, Tom. Great to be here.
And this powerful training program, is administered, managed, and deployed through the Corporate and Community Training Institute at IRSC. And again, as I say, this program is helping so many folks launch careers as certified manufacturing technicians. This course and the work of the college and the work of Joe and Donna Rivet and Dr. Cooper in this program really has a very positive impact on our local marketplace. So it's a great program. So we're going to talk about that here. I also want to welcome to the studio a new guest and a brand new instructor for us at the Corporate and Community Training Institute, Dr. Raul Salazar. And welcome to the show, Dr. Salazar.
Thank you very much for having me here, too.
And Dr. Salazar is going to talk to us about the coolest new class and course at the college. It's on drone certification.
Oh, yeah.
The FAA's Part 107 to get you official and certified as a drone pilot. So, again, looking forward to talking to Dr. Salazar. Real quick, before we get started, I just want to, again, always remind everyone that all the courses, workshops, seminars that are going on at the college, you can always get more information on all of that by visiting that IRSCbiz.com site. That's IRSCbiz.com. I promise you, if you'll go and you'll click on that event schedule, you will be impressed, shocked, and surprised at all the workshops and all the seminars going on throughout the months at Indian River State College. All kinds of topics, business topics, sales, how to improve sales, marketing, better understanding of sales and use tax, how to write a business plan, how to start a business. So all kinds of business topics. All of those courses provided to you by the Florida SBDC at IRSC and the Treasure Coast chapter of SCORE. Never any cost to attend one of those classes, and they're held at multiple campuses, day and night classes across the 4 counties. And then you can also see all the offerings from the CCTI, the Fast Track to Manufacturing programs, Courses like the new drone course, SHRM certification classes, process server certification classes, just all kinds of things going on at the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute and the CCTI and the SBDC right here at Indian River State College. As I tell people all the time, Dr. Massey's done an incredible job of building what we like to call a very powerful one-stop shop for business assistants at IRSC under that Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute. Had I taken the time when I was in business to take advantage of these programs, I am confident I could have been a better manager, owner, and operator. So I encourage you business owners, operators, to take advantage of what's going on at the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute. And again, you can check all of that out at the irscbiz.com site. So again, with that, I want to talk about one of those very powerful courses that's offered through the EDI, as we call it. I want to again welcome Joe Gorham to the show. Welcome, Joe.
Thanks, Tom.
And I want to just take just a second to thank those that also support you, Joe. Donna Rivet. Gosh, what a leader in technical training at the college and innovator herself.
Wonderful woman to work for.
Yeah, absolutely. She's just very dedicated to our community and does some great things in that area. And then, of course, Dr. Kevin Cooper. Innovative is an understatement for Dr. Cooper. He kind of runs us ragged with the ideas that we have to deal with every day from Kevin Cooper, who is the Dean of the Advanced Technology Program. I want to thank the Vietnam Veterans Association, who have been very supportive of your program.
Absolutely. They provided some scholarship funds to us for veterans, and we're really proud to have them as a partner in this.
Yeah, and still got some of that money available. And, the BDB down in Martin County was a big early on supporter. Gosh, Jill and Tim and the work they did to launch this program a couple years ago. So there's been a lot of people that have really been involved in this Florida Trade Advanced Manufacturing Grant, which is now kind of morphed from a grant to an ongoing sustainable program through the CCTI.
That's correct, Tom. In fact, the grant was what got us off the ground to develop the program, and now we're running full steam.
Okay, so Joe, I want to just quickly kind of refresh everybody's memory. Give us some background on this whole fast track to manufacturing program.
So the program was developed under a federal grant to develop short-term training programs to get people started in careers in manufacturing. And manufacturing is seeing an absolute loss in the attrition of people retiring out of the program and nobody coming in from the other side. So the opportunity for growth there is huge, and that program was developed under that grant.
And we even had Paradigm had some folks one night on the show from Paradigm, and they absolutely confirmed what you're saying. They said, look, we've got people retiring every day and no one to fill all those spots.
Yeah, and these are careers, Tom. These aren't just jobs; these are careers.
So give me kind of describe a target student for me. What does a student look like that would take this fast track to manufacturing course?
So the guidelines are 18 and up, but the true targeted student is someone 25 to 50 who's at a dead-end job, minimum wage type, but they're intelligent. They just don't have the resources to move further into a career that's going to take them somewhere. And that's what this was developed on. Let's get them some short-term training, get them an entry-level position in manufacturing, and have them a career that they can feed a family on.
Tom, dead-end jobs. That's us.
That's us.
Yeah.
Radio.
Oh,
Right.
man.
Joe, have you got two spots for Greg and I?
No, he doesn't. Believe me.
So again, you're looking for that person, either looking to start a career, young person, or you're looking for that person that's going to make a change in their career, kind of.
Absolutely. We're looking for people who really want to apply themselves. These are full-time jobs. These are careers. These are jobs with benefits, with paid vacations, paid holidays, the opportunity to advance yourself with additional education. These are genuine lifetime careers.
Joe, how many second career people do you get through this program?
Virtually everybody that we're getting through is a second career person or veterans. It's a great program for veterans coming out of the military. It's a great transition from military to civilian life. And it's really a step in the door.
So where does the training take place, Joe? I know it's kind of, you've got different classes, but where does it all take place?
We do. We run 2 formats. We run a day program down at our Indian River State College training facility at Paradigm in Stewart. That's a day class, and we run an evening class, which I have coming up next Tuesday, as a matter of fact, here on main campus in Fort Pierce.
All right. So you do have some current classes starting next Tuesday, you say?
Yep, next
So
Tuesday.
still time to get in that class.
Still time to get in that class.
Now, there are some qualifications. There is somewhat of a vetting process to get in this class. Talk a little bit about what you go through to get in. I don't think it's something you can't overcome, but
That's true. The very first thing, we want to make sure that this is an applicable program for you. So I'll do a personal interview with each candidate, ask them about perhaps mechanical skills or other jobs they've had in the past, and make sure they know that they're getting into a full-time career here.
okay. And then what about the curriculum? Kind of take us through. I know it's a 6-week class, kind of a 6 modules. Take us a little bit through those modules.
So the program is based on a national certification called the Manufacturers Skills Standards Council Certified Production Technician, or CPT, and it has 4 core modules to it, a safety module in which we've embedded an OSHA 10 program. It has production processes, maintenance awareness, and quality assurance. We've augmented those 4 modules with calibration and measurements and with basic blueprint reading. And then to tie it all together, we have a hands-on lab that's 3 Saturdays during the program where they do sheet metal fabrication.
Okay. Now, obviously, there's a cost, like any course. To attend the class, there's cost for the class, books. I'm assuming there's.
There is. The cost is $1,800. It's all inclusive. It includes your books. It includes your MSSC registration and your MSSC module testing. So it includes all your materials.
What about females in the fast track program? Is there a place for females in this program?
Absolutely, Tom. Why not? I mean, when you think about it, in World War II, Americans brought more aircraft back that would never fly again than every other country combined. Who built those aircraft? Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie the Road.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
don't think there's not a place for females out there. In fact, a lot of times women do a much better job at adhering to specifications and details and fine work than their male counterparts.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Yep. We're all
Details,
stuck on that one.
details that does leave us out.
That's right.
Tom.
Yeah, that leaves us out. Again, and one of the really more powerful parts of your program is you've got local manufacturers involved with you in the program. Talk about some of the partners that are involved.
Yes, we do. And in fact, it goes in 2 directions. The instructors for this program are not faculty from the college. They're actually full-time employees of manufacturers. So the manufacturers use the program themselves as a lead-in course to select candidates from for entry-level hire. And then from that group, I have a whole lot of manufacturers waiting for people to come out of the program. Some of the examples are Paradigm Precision, EB Airfoils, Piper Aircraft, Awareness Tech. We've got a lot of manufacturers looking for these candidates.
Yeah, and you and I just recently attended the Treasure Coast Manufacturers Association meeting not too long ago at the Pelican Yacht Club, their annual meeting, and there was, 150 people in the room. And at some point they said of the 150 in the room, 60 of these folks are manufacturers.
We're manufacturers, absolutely.
And all of them looking for employees.
Every single one of them as they're looking to fill their ranks.
So talk about that too. After the student takes and completes the course, what are the job opportunities?
So they are entry-level jobs, but with that comes the opportunity for additional career training. Most of these jobs start in the ballpark of $12 to $14 an hour, and again, these are full benefit jobs. They do look for you to be able to put in some overtime because they have production schedules that they need to meet. And these are very, very long-term careers.
Right. And
Well,
I think
wasn't it Paradigm when they were here that has contracts out like 20, 25
sure.
years?
Yeah,
It's amazing.
well, what amazes me, and Joe can speak to it, I'm sure, a little bit, but in my off to the sidelines view of what's going on in our local manufacturing community. I mean, we really have this hidden, manufacturing community here that really has a lot going on. A lot of defense contracts in our area, and making parts, making planes.
A lot of it. A lot of people don't know how much manufacturing is in this area, and the reason being, manufacturers do their job in their facilities. They don't invite the public in. It's not a commercial enterprise in the sense of a retail store.
Right.
So, but they're out there. We've made parts that have been left on the moon right here in this area.
Nice. How does a potential student get more information or get involved, Joe?
Well, the best thing to do is to go on the IRSCbiz.com, go into the events, and you'll see the program posted there. It'll put you in touch with me, and we'll do a phone or a personal interview and take you from there.
And we make no promises, but there is some money potentially available out there if you qualify, I guess. There's qualifications for the money, but
That's true. As we mentioned, we've got some funding from the veterans.
Right.
We also have CareerSource has been a fantastic partner in funding the program, and some of the community services have funded some of the programs. And one of the most interesting things to know about this program, too, is remember that it's taught by people who are working in the manufacturing industry. So the program itself is actually a job interview. It's a 160-hour job interview, and those interviews are hard to get out there in the public.
Right.
This one's a job interview.
yeah.
Oh, so the instructors can pick out the best.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, that's it.
okay.
You caught on, Greg. It's yes, they get to cherry pick the
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
cherry pick the employees.
Very cool.
Joe, again, I just cannot say enough about that Fast Track to Manufacturing program. You and Donna and Kevin and Jose Farinos, but before he had left. I mean, you guys did some great work putting all this together, and it is truly, again, I don't know any other way to describe this other than a very powerful training program that can get you into the workforce immediately. And I'm confident when I say that.
Absolutely.
I've watched it.
Absolutely, Tom.
Watched
You've
it.
seen it happen.
Yeah, I've seen it. They come into this course, and I mean, the last go round when we had the solar Fast Track to Manufacturing. Did I see an email that went back and forth that said we had 100% employment out of that?
100% of people got job offers out of that program.
Wow.
Okay.
Is there a ballpark figure with all these manufacturers, like say all 60, about how many jobs are out there for people to get?
I don't. I certainly haven't seen the figure and don't want to quote a figure, but I think it's. I think we have more jobs than we have slots in the Fast Track to Manufacturing program.
Absolutely. And when you think that the median age in manufacturing is over 50 now, it shows you that the top end is opening out, and the opportunity for you to get in and grow has never been better.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
All right, Joe, keep up the good work with Fast Track to Manufacturing. We appreciate you coming on tonight, kind of updating us on where the program is, and hopefully you will find a couple of seats for the few that need to get in that program. It starts next week, so they need to get on it this week.
Next Tuesday. Get in touch with me.
Okay, so thank you, Joe. And with that, this is Startup Talk, and I am Tom Kindred, and we're going to take a quick break to recognize our sponsors and underwriters here on Startup Talk.
Startup Talk is being underwritten by the law firm of Dean, Mead, Minton, and Zwimmer, celebrating 30 years of service on the Treasure Coast. Practice areas include commercial litigation, tax and business law, real estate development, agricultural and water law, trust, probate, and estate planning. On the web at deanmead.com. And by Harbor Community Bank, banking the way it used to be. Are you looking for a better banking experience? At Harbor Community Bank, our customers' needs are priority number one. Whether you're looking to finance a dream home or open a small business line of credit or send your first child off to college, Harbor Community Bank is ready to assist you every step of the way. Why wait? Discover the community banking difference. Stop by your local branch and speak to a customer service rep or a loan officer today. Harbor Community Bank, an equal housing lender, member FDIC, and a proud underwriter of Startup Talk.
We are back. This is Startup Talk. I am Tom Kindred from the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute here at Indian River State College, and got another great innovative program that we are launching at Indian River State College. And we've got with us, I want to reintroduce Dr. Raul Salazar. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you.
Just a little bit of background on Dr. Salazar. His background encompasses success as a chief technical officer, software engineer, educator, and innovator on the leading edge of technology. He's worked with various companies that include NASA, Motorola, IBM, HP, American Express, Nova Southeastern University, and others.
Any large companies involved in that?
Yeah, just a few.
Holy smokes!
Small business. He's authored over 160 course titles for custom instructor-led training, including online classes for companies and universities. Been building autonomous systems since 2005, as well as software for airplanes, helicopter simulators. He's been flying his own RC helicopters for 14 years. He is a certified FAA helicopter and gyroplane sport pilot, as well as the Part 107 certified remote pilot with many hours of flight time logged. His experience with drones encompass precision farming, engineering, data collection, infrared inspections, power lines, solar panels, roofing, pipeline, power substations, real estate photography, and video production. He is involved in drone setup and configuration, drone software, embedded development, drone training, and he is an adjunct professor at, I hate to mention it, but Nova University down south and Broward College. And he is the Chief Technical Officer and President of JHL Technology. So, again, welcome to the show, and welcome to the Corporate and Community Training Institute.
Thank you very much for having me, and you're welcome.
So I kind of covered your background. So again, let's kind of go and maybe we'll talk a little bit about it. But let's go right into this. Talk to us about the dawn of the drones. What a new space and a lot happening in that space right now.
Well, this is a great opportunity for many people to get in now because it is something new. It has been coming along, but one of the nicest thing about this is that it's creating new jobs that didn't exist before. Not only for pilot, but also for people who design software for drones, people who can do the maintenance. Also, companies are writing software that can be used by the drone pilot to accomplish some things, like, for example, collecting the data and putting it all together for a guy who does the survey. So now that person doesn't have to do that work anymore. Now they can just use a drone.
Wow. And again, it's something that doesn't immediately pop into your head when you think about drones, because you really think of these things almost as toys, but really, like you're saying, there's a whole element of job creation out there around this industry.
Oh, yes. And the funny thing is that people don't realize the things that we can do today. Many companies, like roofing companies in South Florida, now are beginning to use drone pilots to do the inspection of roof. That way they don't have to use their employees going into the roof, and so their liability insurance is going down.
Right. So again, this and we refer to it as the you got all the acronyms, but it's the UAS is the technical term for drones.
That is the official name.
And UAS stands for
Unmanned Aircraft System.
Unmanned Aircraft Systems. And again, this is becoming proliferating, so quickly within business and academics and sports, and we really do have to now, as even general citizens, have an understanding of drones. So we really do have to care a little bit about what's going on with drones.
We have to, and we have to understand it, because the media have also created many misconceptions around the drones, which are not true in some cases.
Well, the media is also using them. Our sister station, Channel 12,
Right.
uses them all the time. So,
Yep.
Right.
yeah. Now, the one question that we've had for the Florida broadcasters had drone attorneys. That's yet another field. It's special.
It didn't take long. Yes.
Specialized broadcast attorneys specializing in drones. Anyway, they were talking about they were still waiting for that perfect battery, because the battery's still.
The technology in the battery is a little far, not that far along. So
Yep.
it's taking a little time to get where it's supposed to be. If you compare with 5 years ago, what we have today is amazing, because now we can fly for 45 minutes. You
Right.
look at that one 5 years ago, and it will be like 6 minutes.
Wow.
So
Interesting. Wow.
It has big changes on that.
So, it is kind of interesting. You knew it was coming, but these drones first came out as toys, and then as they got more sophisticated, then, of course, they were able to go higher, faster, farther, longer. So it was inevitable that the government was going to eventually have to get involved in all this. So who is behind this drone movement in terms of the support and the programs and the initiatives? Who's kind of leading this charge?
The FAA.
Okay.
And the FAA also has another group that is the FAA safety team. So, but the majority of the rules and regulations are from the FAA. The FAA safety team, what it does is education. So the two are working together, making sure that people understand what you can do with the drone and what you should not do with the drone.
Right. And again, the FAA has now also begun, and I guess their so-called laws and rules and policies and regulations. When did that kind of the door kind of shut on that they've said, okay, we've got our rules figured out?
The first thing that happened was in 2014, that the Congress said to the FAA, you have to integrate drones with the airspace. That was the first thing that happened. Then after that, the regulations start coming in, and the next one was the ability to do business. We didn't have that ability until the end of 2014, when we start then have the ability to request what is called certificate of exception. And that what allows you to do is to create a company and then provide services for pay using drones.
But now prior to that, people were probably doing it. They were probably using drones and conducting business, but there really was no guidelines. Like
there was
you
no
said.
guideline, and officially you could have not done it.
Officially prior to this, you weren't really supposed to be conducting business with your drone.
Correct. I've been flying helicopter with cameras since 2005. The first official commercial drone came in 2011. So you could not go and say, well, I'm going to take pictures and charge you for it.
Right.
If you get caught or you were at that particular time, you were going to get into big trouble.
Right. So talk to us now and describe this difference really between what we refer to as the hobbyist and a commercial operator. So how is that how the FAA kind of separates the two groups?
Separates the two groups. The hobbyists are the people that are enjoying flying. They go to the parks. They don't do it for business but for pleasure. They have the regulations. You have the Modeling Academy, AMA, American Modeling Academy, and they are ruled by the public law 112.93. So if you're going to fly and you're near an airport, the rules are applying a little bit different because you're just flying for, fun.
Right.
The guys take time to do whatever they need to do to those helicopter, planes, or drone. And the nice thing about that one is that as long as you follow the rules, you're safe. If you need to fly in certain areas, you need to call that particular tower at that airport and notify that you're going to do the flying, and they will tell you something.
So you could actually fly a drone relatively close to St. Lucie or Martin County airports.
As long as you call
you notify the tower.
Yes, you
Okay.
notify that, and the tower will tell you yes, no, depending on where you are and your altitude and whatever you want to try to do, if it is for the hobbyists. If it is for commercial, different story. Now you're going to get paid. Rules are a lot more strict.
So I guess the big question is, who needs the drone certification?
Well, anybody who wants to create a business today and take advantage of the different companies, not only in South Florida or in Florida, but all over the country, because we still need pilots now for drones. It's becoming so common and so useful that now they're requesting pilots. Anybody who wants to get paid as a job, then you need to take that certification, that test, that knowledge test.
Okay.
That is the Part 107 remote pilot.
Our oil expert in Houston for our Money Info show was talking about that they've got oil companies out there looking for drone pilots.
Yep.
And they're like mapping out potential pipelines
Yes.
with drones.
It costs much less than using a helicopter.
Oh, yeah. And now it is interesting when you watch TV or you see a movie and you see these shots. It always comes to mind now. I'm thinking, well, that probably years ago that had to be a helicopter. Now it's a drone.
It's a big difference in price.
I'm sure. Think about it's done to the budgets.
Well, Tom, look at your television show. Just on this,
sure.
with the IRSC, great drone shots
Great
of
drone
the campus.
shots.
Yeah.
So, and again, you talk about, what are who are some of the other people? Commercial, so you're making money with the drone. But what about municipalities, governmental agencies, school boards, cities, counties? If they're using drones, would it be advisable for them to get the Part 107?
It is advisable.
Okay.
Because you need to know the regulation. Even though that you're going to have a different permit or certificate from the FAA, they are requiring everybody to take that certificate, because what it will do for you is give you the knowledge of the airspace, number one, how close you can fly or not from an airport, understand all of those issues, safety, emergency procedures, everything that is important when you're flying a drone.
So if you're involved in a drone, anywhere beyond just I'm having fun, you need the Part 107.
Right.
Okay. All right. And then so now you have partnered with the Corporate and Community Training Institute at IRSC, and between you and the CCTI, you guys are launching a class that will allow a commercial or governmental operator to sit for this FAA Part 107. Talk about the class.
Well,
What's
the
going to
class,
happen?
what is going to allow that person to accomplish is get all the knowledge that they need to pass that test. That test is 60 questions, it's 3 hours. You need to have a minimum of 70 points to pass that test. But for anybody that is not a pilot, it becomes a little hard, because you have to understand the airspaces. You have to be able to read the charts that as pilots we know how to read, because we need to fly from point B to point A, or vice versa.
Right.
So it is important, and also crew management, which is, it doesn't mean that, I'm going to be flying, but you may be flying with a visual observer, because sometimes, remember, a pilot cannot do both things at the same time. So you may have a person who is piloting the drone, another one who is controlling the camera, and another one who is watching around and seeing that if it's nothing close, or other things are coming by, like a bird or depending on where you are.
Right. So the goal of the class is, number one, education,
And prepare you for
the test. Now,
For the
how
test.
does the test work? Is it a written exam? Online?
It's a knowledge test.
Knowledge test.
You go to the test center, you gotta register. It costs $150. If you become a member of the AOPA or some of the other ones institution, they'll give you a coupon for $10 off, which is very nice. So you get to take the test, and it takes only 3 hours. If you did the study and understand all that, you're gonna pass the test. But if you think that you're gonna study by yourself,
Right.
and look at some of those charts, is not an easy thing for a person that is not a pilot.
Do you have to go to the FAA for the
No,
test?
there are test centers. You just call, register, pay, and then you go to any of the schools around, aviation school, that have a test center for the FAA, for the knowledge test. So you go there, they will, you gotta take your ID, and everything that is required, and then you take your test, and they give you the results right away.
Now, you said, too, that you were already a pilot.
Yes.
And so there is a different track. If you're already a pilot and you just simply want to get your UAS or drone certification, you probably don't have to take the class.
The only thing that you do is you take a 2 to 3 hour online class with the
Okay.
test there.
Okay.
If you pass that one, you get your certificate. Then you go to a CFI, and you go to FAAsafety.gov
Okay.
to take that test. So it makes it a little easier. You are not tested in charts, how to fly, or any of those things.
You already know.
Because you already know.
You already know all those things.
Sure.
The only thing that you are tested on is on your regulations,
So
because it's important to differentiate between everybody else and your Part 107 regulation for drones.
So for individuals who aren't pilots, this is going to be, you're going to get a lot of aeronautical training in this class.
Basically.
You're
Basically.
going to.
By the time that you finish, you will know how to read charts. You will
Wow.
know how to identify the different airspaces around where you are. You know what you can do or not do near an airport, and the type of airport, okay, and who you need to call or not, and especially the part that the management and the ability to say, I cannot fly by myself. I can now need I need somebody else to help me fly this because I cannot do two things at the same time.
Yeah, the big X on the chart is Mar-a-Lago.
Yes, absolutely.
We now, and again, prior to the show, we were having a little conversation about drones themselves, actually the pieces of hardware. I mean, these things can range anywhere from, I don't know, $15 to $150,000. Can they not?
There is a website in which you can buy a little tiny drone, I will say 1 inch by 1 inch, for $3.45.
Wow, okay.
And it's controlled by your phone. To almost the ones that you're going to do for business, maybe $150,000.
Right.
Not talking about the ones for the government, but that is a different story.
Right. And so with this certification, and you showed me yours, it's actually a license. Looks like a driver's license. So with that license, I mean, you're then qualified, at least from a certification standpoint, to operate those drones.
To operate the drone. It does the test. The funny thing about the test, and that is one of my concerns also, and that is the reason we're going to start some other additional courses, is that it's a knowledge test.
Right.
Drones are easy to fly. Anybody can fly a drone that costs from $299 up because it has a GPS, it has a stabilization and everything. But that doesn't mean that you know how to take pictures. Right. It doesn't mean how to fly along a power line and take the pictures or take the information that you need to specify or to find out if it's that correct or is something wrong with it. So that also takes a little bit of training.
Well, and that was something I was going to ask you too. Now, once I think the CCTI has launched this original course, and gotten through some students through the certification process, and you're going to actually launch some shorter but more technical type courses.
Yes.
And like you're talking about. So talk a little bit about some of those courses.
One of the things that we're trying to do then is how to put the drone together and configure it and set them up. Okay. The other one is how to take pictures or video.
Right.
Because now, if you're already a photographer, you have an idea. But it's not the same to be on the ground that now you have a device flying and taking the picture, taking the video. The angle that you have to use is totally different. You have to take into consideration also the wind, where the sun is. So all those things now take a little more emphasis, you as a photographer and a pilot at the same time. And you cannot fly and take pictures or video at the same time. So that means I got to have a plan to be able to do this.
Now, are these pictures, or I should say video, real time, or is there a little delay in there?
Well, no, you can do it both ways. You can just save it on the SD card, or you can use something like Ustream or some other companies and do real-time streaming. I have done that in the past. We have done for some companies some work, and we have connected the drone video output to a little device that allows you to go through the internet, and they could be anywhere in the United States looking at the video.
So you could do live drone shots.
You can do live drone shots.
Live streaming, Facebook and YouTube and
anything you want nowadays.
Except not over people.
Not over people.
That was a big thing with a lawyer. That was
right. And you have the thing that also some of the pilots don't realize, and the customers, is that depending where you are, near an airport or not, you're going to need to have an authorization or a waiver. So if you're going to fly over people, you're going to have to request a waiver. And in that waiver, you have to specify, be very specific, how you're going to fly, what are the requirements that you have, what is your process for safety, because you don't want that thing to fall out of the sky and hit someone. So if you put everything correctly and you have all those things attached to the drone, because the drones are becoming very sophisticated nowadays, then you will get your waiver. If you're going to fly near an airport and the airport requires an authorization, then you fill out your application. It's online. They have done a pretty nice job. It's now been 3 weeks since they changed it. It was a little quirky, but now it's very nice. And if you follow the rules, it will do the job. But one funny thing that you mentioned about the lawyers is that some lawyers decided that, I got a business. I'm going to go and create all of these forms for people to buy it from me, fill out for the waivers or for the authorization, and I'll make money on that. Great. But you know what happened? The FAA now looks at every single one of them and reads it and says, well, this is the same as that one. How can this be when they're two different locations? So it has been an increase of from the FAA denying some of those waivers and authorization because they realize that the person doesn't know what he's doing. He's just copying.
Well, and this is where, like, the National Football League is really wrestling with the use of drones. Remember when when they started the aerial cameras
Right.
Yep.
that are on wires, right? Well, that took almost 5 or 6 years to get finally implemented. But they're now starting to try and figure out how they can utilize drones in a football stadium.
Well, you showed me again prior to the show one of the $60,000 or $70,000 drones that
Yes.
you've flown, and I asked you what was on the top of that. I had never seen that, but in your comment to they're getting very sophisticated, you told me that one was even outfitted with a parachute. So I guess
They are now selling parachutes for those drones because one of the problems is that if something fails, the battery fails, some of them will come. But if it really fails for whatever reason, you don't want that to hit anyone. So it has a parachute that automatically deploys when it hits certain speed.
wow.
It has an accelerometer, so it says, "Oh, you're going too fast. Here's the parachute."
Wow. So tell us real quick one more time, what does the industry look like? I mean, kind of give us your vision of what is the drone industry out there look like?
The drone industry is growing at a very fast pace. One of the funny things that happen is that a lot of companies now are realizing that doing certain things will lower their insurance, the company insurance. So that will allow them then to say, hey, I can do roof inspection, I can do power line, I can do solar panel farms, I can do pipelines. I mean, anything run nowadays, and it will allow you then to save some money.
So even existing businesses that aren't even high-tech businesses can integrate drone technology now into their business.
Oh, yes.
Roofing companies, instead of sending a man up a ladder, could do inspections.
Surveyors.
Surveyors, farmers. You've talked
Farmers.
about precision farming. I
Right.
mean, farmers who spend all their time really on horseback and now can get kind of a bird's eye view of what's going on
Right,
the,
and
the
do the
ranch.
volume measurement. So that means that the city can go and say, hey, I want to know that dump, the city dump.
The landfill, yeah.
The landfill, how fast it's growing. So I can use a drone instead of using 5 people to walk around and do the measurement. Now I can do it with a drone.
Well, and now they are utilizing drones. I was talking to somebody at a tower company today for some of the real big television
Right.
towers, 1,000-footers.
Right.
That instead of tower climbers, they can
Oh, yeah,
actually
to do the,
get right next to the tower with a drone.
yep.
Right.
And also they're using drones for installing the telecommunication tower. So instead of having a person here and another person there and using a laser, now you tell the drone what is the latitude and longitude. The drone will stop right at that specific location, drop a laser or drop something, and the person there, okay, this is the right location because it's the distance gets to be measured by a laser, and you know the exact distance where that tower needs to be placed.
Now you're involved in the obviously the academic side of this whole drone. You've been sort of part of creating some of the initial academic instruction manuals
In
and
some of the universities,
in some of the
and
universities.
in some of the companies, yes.
Are you starting to see, are some universities, is there going to eventually be a degree in?
Oh, there are a couple of universities now that are having a degree for the UIS,
Okay.
and it goes through. Some of them are an associate, some of them are becoming a bachelor's degree,
bachelor?
but they are becoming now a degree for specifically for this. So not only do you learn how to fly, you get your Part 107 certificate, but you're now learning how to put it together, how to design it, how to create software, all those things that encompasses everything related to a drone.
So how does someone kind of get involved? What if somebody, you had a young person that said, I want to fly drones. I mean, how does somebody kind of get involved in this world?
Simple. The regulation says that if you are 16 years old or older, you are allowed to take that test. So anybody who would like to make money, and the kids know how to fly these things because they're
Right.
playing always games.
Right.
You have a kid that now is 17. I want to make money on the side. They can take the test, pass the test, and I'll guarantee you they will be flying a drone within hours.
And again, in our neck of the woods, let's face it. I mean, real estate's got to be a big one, you know.
Oh yeah, real estate.
that would be
What a
huge.
what a great way to promote, and especially the homes on the beaches and
Right. Now, the real estate agent have to realize that there is a rule. Some of them are trying to get things a little cheaper, because the funny thing is that the pay for a pilot ranges in between $45 to $150 an hour
right.
to do a job flying a drone, depending on what you're trying to do. So you don't want the real estate agents to hire a hobbyist. You need
Right.
a
You
real
need
pilot that has a license.
and again, for those that are looking to hire a drone to do some commercial work, this is easy. Show me your
ID.
license.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's easy. All right, so let's get down to some details. Class will start Saturday, the 23rd. It will be held on the main campus of Indian River State College here in Fort Pierce. It's going to be 3 Saturdays. It's a 21-hour class.
A 21-hour class, making
Okay.
sure that everybody
Okay.
learns all of the rules and regulations.
So basically 3 Saturdays, 3 7-hour Saturdays, and then you'll have them ready to take the test.
Yes, and within every hour they have quizzes for each one of the topics that we're covering.
All right, and you're teaching the course.
And I'm teaching the course.
Okay. So that's the 23rd, the 30th of September, and October the 7th would be the 3 Saturdays.
Yes.
And I think the cost of the course, I believe, is $450. And again, probably can get more information on that, like I always tell people, on that IRSCbiz.com site.
Yes.
I think it'll be up and posted pretty quick. Listen, Dr. Salazar, thank you so much for getting engaged with the CCTI. Thank you for bringing this great topic and subject.
This is
This is
awesome.
yeah.
This is
Well, this is, I think, going to be a big help in our community. People
Yes, it
have
will
probably
be.
wondered how do I get official? How do I get
Yep.
this license?
Well,
So-
thank you for having me, and it has been a pleasure to help you guys. And
Well, we're looking forward to a full class of new certified drone operators. So,
Yep.
thank you, sir. And again, I want to thank everyone for tuning into another segment of Startup Talk. Thank our guest tonight, Mr. Joe Gorham with Indian River State College, and Dr. Raul Salazar with the new Part 107 drone certification class. And remind everyone that all the business assistance programs and resources discussed on this segment are available through Indian River State College's Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute, engaged at every stage of enterprise. For more information on the EDI, its programs, and a complete listing of upcoming business training events, visit IRSCbiz.com. As always, I want to thank Greg and our partners here at WPSL, WSTU, WQCS, and WPSL TV. And with that, we will talk to you next Tuesday. We've got a couple more Tuesdays as the Dolphins play preseason football.
Just one more.
Oh,
after
just
this
one more, and
Yeah,
then we're
yeah.
back on Thursday nights at our regular spot. Talk to you next Thursday on Startup Talk from
Have
Indian
a
River
good
State
week.
College.
You've been listening to Startup Talk on WPSL Port St. Lucie, WPSL.com, webcaster of the world, WSTU, Stewart, NWQCS, the voice of Indian River College, Fort Pierce. As the president stops in Phoenix, opponents